The police are coming.
Yeah, that's fine. Well. Yeah, that is fine. It's wasting police time. Say that again. Say that again.
I've been racist for long.
I will.
These lefty Karens are seriously getting out of control. We've shared a lot of videos of white British people getting outraged over individuals flying flags in their local communities. Some of them are completely outrageous, but the same old rhetoric keeps on appearing. Individuals are saying, oh, it's racist to fly your own flag. It's racist this, it's racist that. However, today we've got a lefty psycho Karen coming out and actually assaulting men who are trying to put up flags, and she has a complete meltdown. Let's have a watch of this footage, guys, but first please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more content. Have a watch.
He is a lefty now, I think. Not very happy, just done a UE.
Are you going around putting Union Jack stuff?
Yeah.
Why?
Just to celebrate unity and peace in our country.
Do you live here?
No.
Can you not do it then, please?
No.
What about for the people of colour that live here?
They should. This represents them.
We like Union Jack, but we don't bring St George's flag, so how do I know that they're start putting St George's?
The St George's flags is going off.
You can't do this.
It's in England.
Not everybody wants to put the flag up.
Why not?
Are you recording me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this one and then we'll work our way down to that one.
I won't move you, won't you, till April?
Come on, we'll do this one.
Oh, she's going to find me.
Come on.
She's fine.
The police are coming.
Yeah, that's fine. Well. Yeah, that is fine. It's wasting police time. Say that again. Say that again.
I've been racist for long.
I will. That's assault.
You're a racist.
We're waiting. Yeah, Sam.
Your pants,
We're gonna go. I'll go. I told her not to race the police this time, really. And it was her what assaulted us. We should have probably rang the police, but we was trying to just de-escalate and carry on what we're doing. Yeah, we ain't gonna stop. We'll go to a different street.
Yeah. Where are you just putting them up all over?
The whole of Worcester. It's all funded by a GoFundMe. There's people in this street was donated and requested them to be put up in the street, believe it or not. It's mad how there's such a big divide between people. Can you watch us get in the truck and leave?
Yeah,
so we don't get more.
Make me coffee.
Oh, is it? You'll have to leave it, because I'd rather these be here when we leave so they don't get aggressive again.
Well, there's a lot of things that are unpacked from that sort of clip. Firstly, she's like, well, there's people with colour around here. So what? Sorry, it's the nation's flag that they're flying. These guys just don't get it whatsoever, do they? Oh, there's people of colour here. Yeah, but they live in the United Kingdom. When since was flying the Union Jack or the St. George's flag a racist thing? How have they psyoped the whole world, or psyoped the whole country into them thinking that this is a racist incident? More to the point as well, is that she calls the police. Like, what are the police going to do about this? I'm sorry. And I literally just reported on an incident with regard to an illegal or an asylum seeker that was trespassing and going and loitering around schools, which forced schools to go into a lockdown. And the police's response was, well, we don't really have the manpower to monitor this situation at this time. However, this police officer just turns up straight away after an angry Karen essentially reports some British people for putting flags up. So which one is it from the police's side? But I can't believe they're responding to such incidents, and I just can't believe that it is white British people that are telling other white British people to bring flags down as it's racist. You just can't make this BS up. You really can't. It's absolutely scandalous. Guys, do let me know your thoughts on that clip down there in the comment section below. In other news, Sir Keir Starmer's one-in, one-out migrant deal with France has been branded a joke after failing to deport a single migrant on 2 separate flights. Speaking to the media, ex-Tory advisor Charlie Rowley hit out at the government's latest efforts to tackle the migrant crisis, stating it is not a surprise that deportations have been blocked. An Eritrean migrant set to be on board a deportation flight to France was granted leave to remain in the UK after claiming his experience of being tortured and trafficked should prevent him from being returned to France. The High Court blocked the migrant from being deported, becoming the second flight departing Heathrow Airport with 0 migrants on board. Criticizing the deal, Mr. Rowley told the media, "It'll be a shock to people that even with a change of government, even with a change of Home Secretary in the last few weeks, that these flights cannot go off the ground. But also it's no surprise. Not only can we not seem to be able to deport people, even if you have a one in, one out scheme, I don't think it's what the public want. I think they want to get rid of people that have come into this country illegally. They don't want to trade like for like, but that's where we are." Hitting out at the agreement further, he added, "Even when a sovereign nation like the United Kingdom does a deal with another sovereign nation that is on the forefront of Western democracy, that is France, we can't get somebody on a plane who's come from Eritrea. They've clearly had their claim denied in the UK, and only 48 hours, 24 hours before that flight takes off, they've all of a sudden discovered that they have been trafficked in some way, or they have been abused under the Modern Slavery Act, and they've been able to halt the whole process. This is a joke." Highlighting Labour's failure to learn lessons from the failed plans of the last Tory government, Mr. Rowley stated, "The British public will be sitting at home thinking, how on earth can any government, once bitten, twice shy, the last government under the Tories got it hopelessly wrong. This government should have learned all of these lessons, and yet we can't get those flights off the ground. It's beggars belief, and I think lots of people will be very angry about it." Pointing out that the migrant who was allowed to stay changed his story once being selected for deportation, host Ellie Costello fumed. "There's so much focus on the ECHR, but actually it's the Modern Slavery Act in this case that needs to be looked at, isn't it? Because people can just change their story. This man said initially that he'd suffered no exploitation at all, and then when it looked as though set to be deported, he said, 'Oh no, I was.' So if you're allowing for people to change their story, well, then they're never going to be deported." Mr. Rowley agreed. Well, exactly, and this would just be now an example that everyone else will try and follow to prevent their own deportation. There's a question in the Home Office whether actually, when you arrive into the UK, when you have your process claimed, you should be asked that question as well about modern-day slavery at the same time. So you've got to ask, why are Home Office officials not bringing all this together? This is not a new topic, I'm afraid to say. This is not something that is a new issue that a government has to grapple with. He concluded, "The last government totally failed to get a grip on it. We've had a previous Home Secretary, now Foreign Secretary, that spent 5 years as the Shadow Home Secretary, who spent a year and a bit as the chair of the Home Affairs Select Committee. If anybody should be as prepared as they possibly can be to get on top of this issue and to deal with this crisis, it should have been this Labour government." And yet again, more headlines this morning where people cannot seem to be deported from the UK. The row over Labour's migrant deal shows no sign of easing, with critics arguing it is already unravelling in the same way Conservative plans before it did. For many, the repeated failure of deportation flights only reinforces public frustration and raises fresh questions about whether the government can ever deliver on its promises to take control of the issue. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.